New details released this morning from Uvalde police say all the deaths happened in one classroom. The suspected shooter barricading himself there, killing 19 children and 2 teachers. For more on the school massacre, we welcome in Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, as authorities begin their investigation as to why this happened, Americans are waking up. They're wondering how to prevent something like this from ever happening again. We know the debate over gun control has already begun on Capitol Hill. Is there something more that Congress can do?
Well, yeah, I mean, the reality of this is that the magnitude is great, it's horrible, and it's tragic. It is very difficult to stop something like this in so many ways. The individual here who this person who went in and killed these children, these innocents, he bought his guns legally. He had his background checks. At least that's the report so far. And it also indicates pretty clearly that he had some malevolent intentions, not necessarily against those kids per se, but against his own family members. This is ridiculously evil what's happening here, and it's something that is more than just laws that need to be passed or laws that need to be reviewed. It is something that's societal as well. And so it's a very difficult situation to try to get our hands on it. And I think we always talk about these things, but you have to talk about these things without politicizing or horrific. And this is not a tragedy. This is an evil massacre.
Yeah, and at this point, we are praying for the families, those who are waking up this morning without children with them on this earth. Congressman, when it comes to securing schools, making sure they're safe, is there funding that Congress could be providing when it comes to offering resource officers there who are armed and perhaps could spring into action if an event like this were to take place at other schools across this nation?
Well, this really is first and foremost, in my opinion, a local issue. Now, if a small district doesn't have the funds to make sure that they have armed protection, then what needs to happen is then the state needs to provide. And if that doesn't work, then maybe we can talk about it at a federal level. But the reality of this is, where you see most of these mass shootings, the gun owners buy these guns legally, and they're going to some place that's considered a gun-free zone because there's no one there that can really fire back at them and defend. We know that where it's not gun-free zones, that there are people that come and they're able to stop these bad guys that are coming in that have evil intentions. So you really need to consider what you're doing to protect the schools at the school level, but other gun-free zones as well, because is that the answer? And it doesn't seem to be the answer to outlaw guns. And I think of places like Chicago, where you have literally dozens and dozens of shootings every weekend, and some of the most stringent gun-free laws in the country in Chicago.
We heard in this instance that Border Patrol agents, several of them responded to the shooting. Again, they weren't the ones initially called, but they ran towards the shooter. And as we learn more details specifically about how he was taken down, just a reminder, the presence of these agents. I know you recently spent a trip took a trip to the southern border, visiting the Yuma section earlier this week. Of course, this all has to do at a time when we are seeing a record number of illegal border crossers. Tell me about what you've heard from Border Patrol agents and their job requirements during this time.
Well, just speaking real quickly to the Uvalde situation, my understanding, the report I got last night was that this was a first on scene, which is a typical first responder interaction, so that the first on the scene happened to be Border Patrol. They were nearest and responded because they were there. We'll find out more about the shooter as we go along. But on the border right now, we have so many agents that are off the line because they're processing the literally thousands and thousands of people who are coming across illegally every day. We spend our day processing them, or the agents do, and they're not able to be out on the border where they need to be. And we witnessed that again just the other day when I was there. And that's what's happening on the border. And what goes along with that, and this is important to understand, is we have inadequate vetting and screening of these people, but we are still releasing them into our country. And many of them are people with malevolent intentions. These are people that We don't know really where they're coming from. We had one group we were talking to, and they were kind of nation fluid. At first, they said they were from Georgia. Then they said they were from Russia, and they couldn't speak English. But then we got a translator. Then all of a sudden, they spoke fluent English. When we were there, these were mostly young single adult males, and many of them, in fact, most of them will probably be released into the country, and probably already are from when we were there Monday.
And that federal judge in Louisiana preventing the Biden administration from lifting Title 42 at the time, we don't know exactly how long that might stay in place. Congressman Andy Biggs joining us this morning. Thank you, sir. We appreciate the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.